So now let's attack. Get our tokens on board. Now we pump. And now we win. GG. Hey Sprouts. Today we are playing blue-white control. But it's not a typical blue-white control. Yes, we have Spell Snare. Yes, we have Seam Rip. But we also are running High Noon to limit our opponent's capacity to play cards during their turn. And we're combining that with Aven Interrupter, Aang Swift Savior, and Avatar's Wrath to keep them from being able to play cards at all. Without further ado, let's get into the game. This hand is not the best, but we do have a Malcolm, which we can use to have a draw engine. Looks like we could be playing a mirror match or mono white tokens or something of that nature. This is not what I expected, but okay. We'll play Malcolm here so that we have a draw engine. Let's attack before we play our spell. We do not need a third starting towns. That's a little nutty. What do we want to do? I think we just end our turn and keep up No More Lies. And I'm really glad I did that. This is mono white enchantments. But why do they have this in the deck, I wonder? Seems like a goofy thing to put in a mono white's enchantment deck. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that works really well. So now they're going to create a flying creature. We're just going to let them pump all their mana into Spellbook and then we're going to stun it. That didn't work out. I think the play is to put his spellbook back in his deck with Floodpit's Drowner. This deck has very few creatures in it, so if we can keep him from having creatures on board, then we're very happy about that. Optimistic Scavenger is super scary though. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. We have close to lethal here when you play all the tokens from Voice of Victory plus the 1/1 counters. We're 1 point off. We're taking 8 here. I should have used Restless Anchorage to attack my last turn. For some reason I had in my head that Restless Anchorage cost 4. know what they have cooked up, but we'll block the Veteran's Survivor. That's unfortunate. But if we didn't block, we would have died, so we made the right call. So now let's attack. Get our tokens on board. Now we pump. And now we win. GG. Last game was a win that was a little bit different than what this deck was designed to do, but I'm glad it worked out for us nonetheless. Probably go and play Malcolm here. Okay, so they're playing Sacrifice. There was a part of me that wanted to put a Rest in Peace in this deck, but I chose not to in the end. We'll see if that was a mistake. Using the evoke creatures in this deck is a really smart idea. I've not seen that before. If they're attacking with this, they have erased the past, right? It's the only thing that makes sense to me. They play Voice of Victory, draw a card, keep up no more lives. It's not worth it to no more lives that. Oh, this feels wrong. Not going to do it. I'll Steam Rip it next turn. I should have no more lives stat though. Should have without a doubt no more lives to Umbral. Uh-huh. There's to raise the past. And that's game. On a white Lifegain. Let's see what they got. Reach your spell snare on the perfect time. Nope. I think we know more like that because that gets them closer with Leyline. I wanted to play Malcolm, but that would block Malcolm anyway, so doesn't really matter. Do we play High Noon here? Do we play Enduring Essence here? I think I do none of those things. I think I keep up Aang. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and play High Noon. I don't really want to block with Malcolm. I don't think he'll get through. That changes things a little bit. I was gonna say I don't think we gotta kill the Ley Line of Hope, right? That doing anything less would be a misplay. What I'm thinking about here is discarding Floodplate's Droner so we can use Voice of Victory to trigger Enduring Innocence every turn. Might be the wrong decision, but this is kind of where my head is at right now. We need more cards to win. We are now officially playing defense. We can live with that. And we're starting to draw our key pieces. Well, disclaimer, I should have used Advent Interrupter on a Johnny. What do we do here? We can transform Aang. We can blow up our High Noon. Actually, no, we don't have the mana to blow up High Noon and get our Malcolm back. Feels kind of funny, but we could voice a victory. Attack, get a draw. Voice of victory dies at that point, but... Okay, they're not going to double block voice of victory. That's a mistake in my mind. Try again next turn. We're drawing way too many lands. We've already triggered and drained Essence, no reason to attack with Voice of Victory. Do they finally attack? Nope. We draw another Aang. It's now the time we transform Aang. This transformed Aang is also really good with Voice of Victory because it powers up the tokens. He is going to Sheltered by Ghost my Aang. Makes perfect sense. But he did nothing else. If I do this against Johnny, I can then bounce the hinterland and get back my Malcolm. And you can only play one of the two next turn. And we'll go ahead and swing like this, and our opponent concedes. GG. This hand is either super good, okay, it's going to be pretty good. I was going to say if we don't draw land, this hand is terrible, but we got there. But we are playing against Mono Red, which is scary as heck. No reason not to block here. It's not really what we're afraid of, it's not. Let's see what our opponent does. We'll go ahead and get this on the field, disable them from playing their other... So this is 4, 8, 12 damage. I say we take it. And that might be lethal. Nope, we survive on 2. I really wish this wasn't a Shockland and I could Avatar's Wrath. I should have blocked with Voice of Victory. We are blockers. A shock kills me here. Why did I not pause at the beginning of their combat step to play Floodpit's Droner? That was a mistake. Nothing I can do about it now. So they can't play those cards next turn. They can only play cards from their hand, which might be enough. I'm at 2. This Tired Claw will put me to 1 when it attacks. And they don't attack me. Working our life total back up. Died. We finally draw High Noon, but is it too little too late here? Don't have double strike yet, but I'm willing to wager you have a spell that gives it to you. Or trample. I throw this in front. They still can't play any of their spells. I think this is the play. And now we win. GG. That was a really close game. This hand is not the best. And we face another Earthbender. After last game, I don't really like our odds. Look at all the triggers. This could be a huge mistake. But I won't enter an essence on the board so we can start drawing cards. I don't think we win without it. So, let's see what can happen. That's scary. With the nice tool, that's very scary. This doesn't give trample, right? Right. But they might have something else in their hand that does. They're certainly trampling, or setting up for a trample play. Oh my gosh. Going even higher. Going over 100 power. Now just have the trample card and you're set. $158 damage, and it did give trample because of the earthbending ascension. Right. Forgot about that. Minus 138 life. Being against Simic, it looks like. Simic or Sultai. Looks like Sultai Reanimator. Yep. Noon doesn't do much for us against Sultai Reanimator. They only need one card a turn. What do we do with this? First, let's play Voice of Victory. Play land for turn and... Are you just reanimating the dragon? Nope. Not sure why he shocked and lands there. If they ever resolve their mind bitten, we lose. Can't counter mind bitten because of their Cavern of Souls. It's 12, 14, 16, 18 damage. They know it too. Again, I don't know what they're shocking Lanson for. But this is probably game. Now my question is, did I miscount earlier? Oh, I totally did because I didn't count the terrors themselves. That's where I goofed up. GG. Well, Sprouts, that's the end of this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the games. We got to see some of what the deck is capable of. and some of what it struggles against. That earthbending game is going to stay with me for a little while because that was a little painful. And I do think that maybe getting rid of one of the high noons to add a rest in peace would be really good for the deck with the current meta. But the meta's all changing tomorrow with the new set, so maybe it won't even be a thing to worry about. Maybe we'll have some different kind of spice and brews that make us go crazy. Regardless, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you have sweet dreams and good night.